Hey there, this is the Top Floor Please podcast where women in leadership rise together. I'm your host, Melissa McCormick, executive coach and founder of the Grace and Salt Leadership Academy. This is your space to find clarity, grow in confidence, and lead with bold authenticity. Whether you're navigating the boardroom, building your team, or stepping into new territory, you're not alone. Let's talk real challenges, real growth, and real leadership because the top floor isn't just a place, it's a mindset. All righty then, let's get started.
All right. Welcome, everyone. This is the Top Floor Please podcast. I am your host, Melissa McCormick. I'm the owner of Grace and Salt Leadership Academy, where we help leaders get their time back. Wouldn't that be amazing? We do that through empowering your teams and through a program called Executive Accelerator Program. So if you want to learn more about that, we'll talk about a little bit about that later as we wrap up our podcast. But today, I am super excited to introduce you to my friend, Kellina Mooney. She is our guest today, and we can't be more excited about having this conversation. Welcome, Kellina.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yes. Yeah, well, just kind of as we get started into our discussion, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your current role or anything you want to share.
So I recently moved a few years ago to the Illinois area. I'm originally from Florida, and I've worked for Seminole Gaming, Hard Rock International for almost 15 years now, climbing that corporate ladder. But this is my third property in the Rockford area, so I've also worked in Virginia.
So, wait, hold on. You've been with Hard Rock for 15 years.
It'll be 15 years in January.
When did you start? How old were you?
I was 19 years old.
So first job.
Yes, first job.
Basically.
Little cashier. Yes, cage cashier.
You were a cashier. And what do you do now? What is your role?
Director of cash operations.
And what does that mean?
So I oversee what we have the cage, count, and credit areas. Basically all the money in a casino. Anything that has to do with money has to do with me.
Wow. That's a lot of responsibility.
It is. It's fun though. It's chaotic, but it's fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we are super excited to have Hard Rock here in Rockford. It's been, and I have to be totally transparent with you, I wasn't so sure about it. Like when I love Hard Rock, like we've been to Hard Rocks in Vegas and around the world, but I wasn't so sure about bringing the casino to Rockford until it was here. And then you built it right on a iconic, part of Rockford where the old clock tower used to be. And we love the fact that but Hard Rock has given this great nod to Cheap Trick, who we adore, right? So, or to Rick Nielsen anyway. But I've changed my mind. I'm like, okay, no, we've been to concerts there. We're not big gamblers, but we absolutely love the energy. And so I just really want to thank you for what you do there. And we're excited to have Hard Rock here in Rockford. So
we appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just kind of thinking about your journey, which I'm a little, what do I say? Just really impressed. That's not even the right word, but to be from Florida and then you moved to Virginia and then you moved to Illinois over a 15-year period. What was that like when somebody said to you down in Florida at Seminole, what was that like when they said, hey, we've got an opportunity in Virginia, will you move?
Of course it didn't go like that. I had to apply, but it was terrifying. Yeah. But same idea. But it was terrifying. I lived in Florida my entire life. I believe I was 27, 28 years old, lived in South Florida my entire life. And the thought of moving by myself was terrifying. Yeah. I didn't know if it was the right choice and I didn't know if it was the right time, but now I can attest that it was.
So what was it that made you apply for that position?
Growth, opportunity. A lot changed after COVID, so I just needed more for myself and my future, and I felt like I was too comfortable, and I had to get uncomfortable. Actually,
now talk to me about that. Yeah, but tell me about the comfortable, that tension between comfortableness and uncomfortableness. Like, what was that like?
I feel like anytime you're doing something for a long time, it just becomes routine, and it's something you do every day, and you're not learning in the same way that you might want to. And I felt like I needed to be around different people, different mindsets, different areas, I suppose, but I just needed to be in a different place to grow the way I wanted to. And nothing was better than being around in a different area, different people, different executives. It's totally different when you get out of Florida, something you learn, but.
Yeah. And also what I'm also hearing is that you were able to reinvent yourself if you wanted, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I feel like every few years, honestly, sometimes every 6 months, I feel like I'm a new person, which is what I like. I like to, nobody's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. But I always want to know how I can improve and be better as a leader and as a person.
How do you do that?
Wanting to grow, being open. You can't shut down. You can't not want more. You can't not listen to other people's opinions or ideas as much as you might not agree, but being open to what somebody else's perspective might be or their idea. In the moment, it might be hard depending on what it is, but the more open I've been, the more I see from other people's perspectives.
Yeah. Do you have that one counselor or advisor, or I'm trying to figure out where this comes from? I mean, this is innate for you.
I think
it's internal.
I feel like it might be like how I grew up, I guess you could say. I played sports growing up, and I feel like I was the point guard and played basketball, so I feel like, yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand, and I realized that more recently, being the leader of the team. My dad was my coach, so he kind of pushed me to always want to be better, and that's that tough love, though. My dad, I appreciate everything he did for me and taught me, but it's led into how I am as a leader now.
Yeah. So you lead a team.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And how long have you done that?
Well, management, I've had leading teams for at least 12 years now. So since I was 21 years old was when I first got into management. Definitely interesting. Yeah, definitely hard being the younger one. Definitely people question you and they challenge you, but I think that's only what makes you stronger.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because typically the guests that I have on my podcast have had, quite a bit of experience, or they're older. Let's just say it. We're just going to say that they're older. And so as you being a younger boss, right, probably most everybody was older than you.
Yeah, we're pretty diverse, but of course there are plenty. Yes, I'm usually a lot younger.
Yeah. How was that the first time?
Challenging, I will say. People are more open to it than you would think sometimes. It's obviously, in the back of my mind anytime I take a new position, because how will this be perceived by them? What assumptions will they have? But honestly, I think once they see how I work and, what I stand for, I think that really gets them, that buy-in from them.
Yeah. I'm just writing down these little nuggets. I'm just writing down some little nuggets here. Is there one leadership lesson that you've learned maybe the hard way that you want to share?
I would have to say leadership lesson. Not everyone you work with is somebody that you can be friends with. Growing up,
good one.
Yeah, growing up in the corporate world, I felt like that was really hard for me because you're working so much. You're also surrounded by these people more than 40 hours a week, and you want friends, you want to have a life, but sometimes it doesn't work out with everybody, and that's okay. But you and the other person have to have respect and an understanding of this is work and this is personal, but it doesn't work with everybody.
Yeah, that is so true. And that's hard. That's really hard, especially when you've been promoted among your friends.
Yes.
Right. And then all of a sudden one day you're friends, the next day you're the boss.
Yes, very hard.
What do I do with that? That should be a podcast all in itself. That's a good one. Sometimes I go through these conversations and I'm like, ooh, that's a good one. I need to write that one down. Yeah, that's good. So I'm just kind of curious, as you think through moving from Florida to Virginia and now into Illinois, what kind of culture differences have you experienced either within the community or within your staff at the casino?
I feel like they're all in a way similar, in a way different. Everywhere I go, it's very diverse. Whether it's very, very diverse. I mean, I think that's just how we hire in general.
Okay.
So yeah, so I don't think there's too much of a difference there. It depends, but I don't know that it's too different because it's how we hire everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's interesting. So the Hard Rock culture is similar. And in your experience, I don't know, is this standard that folks move between Hard Rocks?
No, it's not necessarily standard. A lot of people, typically, if you're in Florida, a lot of people do stay there. But it's you have to apply, you have to want it. But no, it's not standard. It's up to each individual.
Okay, so then it's interesting to me that Hard Rock Casino as an entity, as a corporation, it's very interesting that from your experience, and you've moved quite a bit, you've got quite a bit of experience on at the different locations, that the culture is somewhat consistent. And
Yes.
with that, that's what Hard Rock has built. I think that's very, very interesting, and something that for folks who are interested, who are listening and maybe interested in a career at a Hard Rock Casino or wherever in that industry, it might be interesting to them to know that pretty much everywhere you go is pretty much where you're, so you don't have that challenge when you move.
Right.
Yeah.
That's more so my personal life and what I do, what I choose to do outside of work or where I hang out, that's different for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that would be tough. I mean, how did you manage that going into a different community and then finding friendships?
It's very hard, and I feel like the more you move up, the harder it is to keep friendships. It becomes a little lonely, and I feel like, and that's okay. In a way, I think that's taught me how to be okay with being alone. I do appreciate it a lot more, actually. But you still make friends, and I know a lot of women in the community just from networking events. Prior, I did not like going to networking events. I did not like having conversations. I was very shy and reserved. But the more I move, the more I become comfortable, because if I don't do that, I'm not going to have any friends or know anybody. But I have a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances. It's awesome.
Yeah, one thing that kind of stuck out when you were talking about that is I didn't like networking, but I had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was going to be lonely. You did it, kind of like you moving. The more you do it, then it's that uncomfortable discomfort, comfortable tension we talked about earlier. And so once you kind of jump, and then it gets easier as you go. So you're just kind of building that muscle.
Yes.
Do you have any, when we talk about networking, that is something that most people struggle with? Do you have any tips or anything that you do when you go into a networking event?
But I do. I probably am not the best, the best one to ask for advice, because sometimes I think I stray to the people I'm comfortable with.
That's all right.
But I have to put myself out there. I try, typically if I go to an event, I do have, whether it's my team or peers with me, and I want to show them that it's because they're uncomfortable as well. So I show them, and I'll introduce them to other people that I might know in the community, but I make sure to show them and do it, because if I'm asking them to go mingle with people, I have to do it. So I have to be that model for them as well. So I'll just put myself out there as much as I might feel uncomfortable. I feel like other people are uncomfortable too.
Yeah. So true. So true. My Sarah, who works for me, we have this deal, and that is that when we go to networking events, we're not allowed to sit with each other, because that's not why we're there, right? We know each other, but also we have to leave with meeting 2 new friends. You don't have to talk about work. You don't have to do anything like that. We're not there to sell. But we do need to meet 2 new people that we haven't known before. Cause I'll do the same. I'll be like, if I'm just not feeling it, like, I'm like, I just want to have lunch, and I just want to talk to my friends. Cause I don't get a lot of friend time. So, so I have to force myself. So and then afterwards we get together and go, okay, who'd you meet? Because we have to hold each other accountable. Otherwise I'm probably going to not do it. And
I love that. I might have to do that. I have an event this week. I might have to do that.
Yeah. That's what we did. And we chose 2 because, I could have done 10, but that was a little bit more than I wanted to, I was bargaining for. And I wanted to, back in the day when I worked at corporate, I did have a friend of mine we would say, okay, 10, we need to talk to 10 new people. Well, you can't connect with people when you got that kind of a number. So yeah, exactly. It's speed networking. That's exactly what it is. So, what do you want the women who come behind you to know about leadership or about any kind of lessons that you've learned?
I would say it's not always easy, but remember not to lose yourself. That's the biggest thing, is you can't take care of other people if you can't take care of yourself. Mental health is the most important. I see it, with teams that I've worked with. I see it in friends, and I just want people to be more comfortable talking about that. I think it's a huge thing, nowadays, and it always has been, but I think it's more easy to talk about these days.
Mm-hmm. I hope that it is, because it was such a stigma in my generation, and I'm hoping that it is getting easier. The more we talk about it, then hopefully it just has to be. You're absolutely right. So I love that. Be true to yourself. I think that's very, very important. Yeah, I love it. Awesome. All right. So as we're just going to kind of wrap here, we're going to go into our fast bonus round. Okay. Follows my lightning questions, right? Nothing super crazy. But I just have a couple questions. So are you more a coffee gal or a tea gal, or neither? Which one?
Coffee.
Coffee with stuff, or black?
Oh, I have to have a little bit of my coconut milk and some zero sugar sweetener of some sort.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What's your go-to hype song before a big meeting or a presentation?
This is so South Florida. I feel like it's called "Do for a Win" by Lil Baby.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up.
It's a good song. It's a good hype song. A good gym song.
All right. What's one word that your team would use to describe your leadership style?
Relatable.
Relatable.
Mm-hmm.
Relatable. Yeah, I love that. That's great. What's a book or a podcast that you recommend?
Top Floor, Please. But also, there's another podcast, Bestie Beyond Burnout. It's new. It's actually something I just started. But it's kind of
tell me about it again. What's the name of it?
Bestie Beyond Burnout.
Okay.
It's where we talk about the mental health side of ambition and successful women. Something I just recently started, actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, where can we find it?
Spotify.
On Spotify? Okay, so
we just put out the trailer, so it's something new, but something I'm passionate about. So
okay, let me I'll put the link in the show notes.
Okay, thank you.
And yeah, absolutely, big shout out to that.
2 days ago thing. This was brand new. It just kind of came into my mind. Something I wanted to do for a long time. I just was scared. So another thing I'm scared, but I did anyways.
I don't think you're ever scared. I mean, you might think you're scared, but I don't know that you have the scared gene in your DNA.
Right.
I tell you what, you are amazing. That's for sure. Okay. Thank you for that. We will definitely give a shout out to your new podcast. And the last question I have is, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would your dream job be? I shouldn't say dream job. What I'm saying is that, and this was your first job, but right out of high school, if you didn't go working at the casino down in Florida, what would you do?
I would probably be a teacher. That was what I had always, that's what I always wanted to do for a very long time. But here we are. In a different way, I am a teacher.
Yes.
A different way. But that was what I wanted.
Yes, you absolutely are a teacher. And yeah, we all are teacher and a certain grade level, or?
No, I don't think the thought process ever got that far. I got into
Okay,
the
okay.
too early.
All right. Oh, I love it. I love it. There's a couple things that you said during the or you wrote during the application that I really wanted to mention. I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but one of
Oh,
them was you said I want I forget what the question was, but your answer was speak up, right? So this is kind of that lesson, speak up, and then you said closed mouths don't get fed.
yes.
Oh my gosh, that
So
hit me,
true.
right?
Yes. So it couldn't be more true. Every time I feel like keeping my mouth shut might be better for me, I end up regretting that I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I love that. I will give you credit for it, but I'm going to use it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
No,
think,
I'm not the only one. Trust me, I got it from somewhere. So use it all you want.
oh man, alive. That is so spot on. So spot
Yes.
on. All right. So how can people find you? Where are you at? Where are you at on socials or wherever?
I'm I'm only on LinkedIn actually. LinkedIn
Okay.
and my Spotify. That's it. That's all I've got. I
Okay.
cut
All
off
right.
a lot of my social
Excellent.
media.
So here's what we're going to do, listeners. In the show notes, you're going to see her LinkedIn link to her profile, and then we're also going to put in the Spotify the podcast as well. And then what's finally, we're just going to wrap up right here. What's one lesson that you'd like our listeners to walk away with today after all the things we said?
You have to get uncomfortable in order to grow.
Mm.
You will grow in ways that you could never imagine. Professionally, personally, you have to do the hard things, do the things that you don't want to do, and it will help you grow immensely.
Oh, I love it. That is a great place to end. I love it so much. So thank you so much for joining us. And for our listeners, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel or Spotify so that you can be notified when the next podcast drops. If you're interested in the Executive Readiness Accelerator program, just write ready in the comments and I'll send you some details and we can connect and talk through things. All right, Kellina, thank you so much. It was a pleasure chatting with you today and just sharing your knowledge and experience with our listeners. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for hanging out on the top floor. If today's episode gave you something to think about or a little boost, share it with your friends to keep the momentum going. And hey, if you're ready to rise, find your voice, and lead with clarity and confidence, we'd love to connect with you. Reach out at graceandsaltleadership.com to learn how Grace and Salt can support your growth. Remember, you don't have to lead like everyone else, just lead like you. All right, I'll see you next time on the top floor.